Go Jackets.
Hello, all, and welcome to Rec Talk. So, I'm trying to remember who it was that really wanted me to get the green screen set up, but we've done it. I think maybe Todd was commenting that. We've got it working. So, if you didn't watch the Bowls last night, North Carolina played Oregon in a thriller, and only to be outdone by the Arkansas Kansas game, ending in triple overtime. If you didn't see those, you missed some great football. The two best bowl games that have been played thus far. And also, congratulations on the SEC for getting their first bowl win. The SEC was 0-3 up to this point, and the ACC, which is supposed to be the most garbage conference ever, was 3-0. Now our boys, North Carolina, who we all know how I feel about North Carolina. You're welcome for Nate McCullum, by the way. Best of luck to him. North Carolina wasn't able to pull it out. So, Drake May played well. Lot of big explosive plays. Came down to the wire. Oregon scores late. They have to hit the extra point to take the lead, and it hits the upright and still goes in. One of the craziest things I'd ever seen. Drake May tries to throw a Hail Mary that's batted down, and North Carolina loses. What was it, 27-26? Now, I wish the ACC could have remained unbeaten and went 4-0. But am I heartbroken that North Carolina lost? No. Georgia Tech, I am now convinced, absolutely broke North Carolina. So before North Carolina played Tech, their only loss, I think, was to Notre Dame, who I probably dislike more than North Carolina. Anyways, not a bad loss, though. Then they are 3 touchdown favorites to Tech, end up losing to our third and fourth string quarterbacks. Nate McCullum didn't even play in that game. And we end up getting the win on the road in Chapel Hill there. Then what happened to North Carolina? They lose in double overtime to NC State, who is another team that did not live up to expectation. Then they lose to Clemson in the ACC championship. And then they lose to Oregon in the Liberty Bowl. So they lose 4 in a row. Just head scratching. I mean, North Carolina does less with more. Probably better than anyone I know. I mean, North Carolina is not an untalented team. I think they're a very talented team. They just had a major collapse. And go back to 2021, the same expectations, supposed to win the conference, had a Heisman Trophy caliber quarterback and Sam Howell that didn't end up panning out. So that was kind of a can't lose game for me. Either the ACC was going to go 4-0 or North Carolina was going to lose. So either one of those are great options for Rec Talk. But probably the better game was Arkansas-Kansas. Now, I do really like Sam Pittman. I think he's a great coach. He was, I think, the offensive line coach for University of Georgia. But they get up big, right? They're up 24-7, I think, in the first quarter. Kansas is able to come back. Outscores them like 18-0 in the fourth quarter, ties it up late, and what did it go into 3 overtimes? I think. And I will say I am glad that Arkansas ended up winning just for this fact. Is there was I think it was in the second overtime, Kansas is going to score, and Arkansas gets a targeting call. And it's never been made clear really exactly what targeting is. It doesn't seem that intent is calculated. at all. And it's not just helmet to helmet or crown of the helmet to helmet contact as targeting. Any contact to the head can be considered targeting. But the thing that's always confused me is like, if I'm the running back, I'm trying to score, I'm a receiver who's trying to score. You're, as the defender, you're in the proper tackling level, and then I lower my level to now you can't help but hit me helmet to helmet or shoulder to helmet or whatever. Like, how are you supposed to adjust in like milliseconds to that? Plus, he was falling into the end zone. What are you supposed to do? Just let him fall into the end zone and score so you don't get a targeting call? So I would have felt like Arkansas had got slighted if they would have lost because of that. But and the other thing is that you get thrown out of the game for that. So like if your best player is the player that gets the targeting call, you're at a massive disadvantage. I think Kansas was able, I don't know if that was a second overtime or not, but Kansas gets the opportunity to tie it back up. They just couldn't stop Arkansas in overtime. And they do a reverse. And the guy, he's running out to the right, has a clear path to just run it in the end zone and just chunks it 5 yards behind and over the receiver's head. I was actually watching Pigskin Pete stream, and I think Nature Boy Ric Flair commented Reggie Ball, and I was like, yeah, that sounds really accurate. I don't know why he chose to just throw it. Maybe he thought it would be way cooler if he had a touchdown in his stats this season. Who knows? But he definitely should have just run it in. So, those were two very, very entertaining games. We'll see how it goes throughout the rest of the bowl season. Obviously, the SEC has struggled. Florida ends up losing to Oklahoma State and kicking the most meaningless field goal of all time with 40 seconds left. Pat McAfee trolled them so hard during that. Who did Wake beat? Did Wake beat Missouri, I think? Yeah, Wake Forest beats Missouri, so a straight ACC SEC matchup. Missouri gave Georgia everything they wanted. And Ole Miss getting their brains beaten in by Texas Tech. Ole Miss supposed to be one of the better teams in the West, so I've had to eat crap because the ACC's been down for so long. Like when Miami and Florida State came into the ACC, over a decade ago, the expectation was they were going to be the two playing in the ACC title every year. That's why they were put in opposite sides of the conference. Neither one of them has really Florida State had a national title year, in 2016. Other than that, particularly Miami hasn't played well, which that just breaks Rec Talk's heart. But all I ever hear is how great the SEC is and how garbage the ACC is. I guess except in 2022. I think the ACC was down this year too, but doing a lot better in the bowl season, aren't they? So we'll see. I think to the SEC's credit, they have 11 teams to play. So South Carolina plays Notre Dame. That's kind of a faux ACC matchup. Notre Dame can't decide if they want to play in a conference or not. They play in the ACC in basketball, I believe. This is part of the reason I hate Notre Dame. They think they're better than everybody because Rudy played there and was offsides against Tech. And we're supposed to be impressed. So Tennessee and Clemson coming up tomorrow night. Also, I think Syracuse and Minnesota are playing right now. It's 14-7 at the half. Alabama's got Kent State, Kentucky, and Iowa. Obviously, Georgia and Ohio State. I think Ohio State might have something to say about Georgia just supposed to steamroll everybody. Mississippi State, Illinois, and LSU, Purdue. Who else does the ACC have? Got to scroll up. It's in alphabetical order. So the wins we have: Louisville beat Cincy 24-7. We just talked about Wake beating Missouri, Duke beating Central Florida, which is interesting because we beat Duke. Duke's a good team this year. I don't care what anyone says. I know historically they're not a great football team, but is that their 10th win this year? I think it is. And we lose to Central Florida, though, because we had the worst coach of all time coaching that game. North Carolina loses to Oregon. We just talked about Syracuse, Minnesota playing. Florida State's got Oklahoma in about an hour and a half. That'll be an interesting game. I know some people were kind of talking about Florida State feeling slighted that maybe they're overlooking Oklahoma. I think Florida State takes care of business in that game, but it kind of justifies some things from Oklahoma if they can come out and have a good showing in the bowl. I'm sure it helps with their recruiting, so I think they've got a lot to play for. NC State versus Maryland, which is like an old school ACC matchup. Pitt's got UCLA and Clemson, Tennessee. I don't know who to take in that game. I would probably take Clemson in that game, though. So we'll see. So I'll be watching as many bowl games as I can. News, reminder, we're doing the live show, Cdogg and I, this Sunday at 8 p.m. I haven't heard anything from Bryce. I don't know if he'll be on or not. And I've ordered some new equipment. So as you can see, I've got the green screen. Hi, Sam Howe. I just ordered a really, really nice camera so the video quality should improve too. I'm working on a new intro video. I actually want to make a trip to Atlanta to do some filming. So a lot of cool things going on. Again, if you're not following us on Twitter, if you're not in the Discord, it really helps if you do that. It really helps if you like and subscribe. Hopefully we've earned a like and subscribe from some people. I think we're at like 720 subscribers now, on our way to 1,000. And we've got some special stuff planned for when we hit 1,000 subscribers. So I'm going to go watch some bowl games. I hope you all have a great day, and don't take life too seriously. Go have some fun. Talk to you guys later.